Councillor Nunziata. Next on our speakers list is Councillor Perks, followed by Councillor Karygiannis. Councillor Perks, you have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker. Why? Why would they do this? Why would they pick a fight with the second biggest government? Why would they use up their very first few weeks in their legislature doing this what they didn't even run on? What's going on? What's this about? Is it about money? No, it's not about money. We'll spend more money than they save just having 2 elections set up in the period of a year. The cost to the clerk of having to set up a second election will eat up all the savings. It's not about money. Is it about us disagreeing with each other? Well, let's hope that they think we should disagree with each other, because governments where everybody agrees are called autocracies. One rule. We're here to disagree with each other. That's what we're for. So why? I'll tell you why. On the same day, the Premier announced that he was cutting mental health supports. We've had 2 mass killings in the city of Toronto in the last few months, and he's cutting mental health supports. The Premier has already cut funding to TCHC capital repairs. The Premier has already gutted our climate plan, something we worked on as a council for a whole term with thousands of Torontonians. The Premier has told us he's coming for the TTC. He's told us he's coming for the life-saving safe injection sites our public health system runs. He's coming for the things that make Toronto livable. And he wants us distracted. He wants us back on our heels. He wants us fighting with each other. He wants us to not notice that he wants to gut the things that make Toronto great. That's why. This has nothing to do with us. This has everything to do with our job representing the people in this chamber and the people in this city. Now, I've heard it said by some in this council chamber, done deal. They have the law on their side, they get to do it. Well, if you're saying that, you've forgotten the most important principle of government. Governments govern with the consent of the people. No piece of paper, no legislative act, no decision by Doug Ford tells the people of Toronto they have to be governed by his rules. We only get to be here because the people of Toronto consent to having a city council. We're not a creature of the province. We're the voice of Torontonians. And our job is not to toddle up to Queen's Park and ask them, please, sir, can I have a referendum? I don't want their permission for anything. My permission doesn't come from them. My permission comes from Torontonians. My duty now, your duty now, our duty now is to speak up for Torontonians, to call town hall meetings, to go to protests, to join legal actions, to fight back so that they learn on this fight that they will not be able to roll us over when they come for the transit system, that they will not be able to flatten us when they take away childcare, that we will be here to protect the people on social assistance and who live in community housing, that we will not let them roll back all the effort we have put into actually doing something on climate change. Your call is not to figure out whether or not you can find a nice agreement with Doug Ford to make this a little less painful for us. Your duty is to get on the streets, fight back, and stop this assault on the City of Toronto.